Okay, today we're going to teach you how to can a quail. Everybody, it's Michelle from Forgotten Path blog here. Previous video I showed you on how to process your own quail. Now I want to show you how to can your own quail. Now, if you're going to can your own quail, you can follow the poultry directions in your ball blue book if you have one of those. If you don't, you can go to the National Center for Food Preservation, and they have how to do it for canning, and I will put a link down below for going to this site. So for canning, always follow your instruction manuals. Have your jars, heat them up, and then also heat up your lids and your rings. You don't want them boiling, you just want them warm. I prefer to start heating up the water in my pressure canner. Now poultry, or pretty much any meat, has to be pressure canned. Always follow directions though. Add a little bit of vinegar to your pressure canner. It's not the end of the world. If you don't, it just helps it so your jars come out clear. If you forget to do it, just take a rag with some vinegar on it and wipe down that around your jar. It'll look fine. So let's get some quail started. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to raw pack my quail. You can hot pack them, but that's just more work. Raw packing is just literally wrapping your meat in. Now I'm going to do a jar of just quail legs. You want to leave 1 inch of head space, and then it takes 1 teaspoon of salt, and I've just got Morton canning and pickling salt. Set that one off to the side. Do up our next one. With quail, 2 breasts is about all you can fit in there. Don't forget your teaspoon of salt. Now if they have a lot of extra fat on them, just pull the fat off. That can kind of skew your taste sometimes for canned items. What I'm going to do is I have some cut up garlic, some chopped up onion, and then some sulfur shelf mushroom that my husband and I had actually harvested 2 years ago, and we dehydrated it. So we're going to try to put some of this in here too. I'm just going to do this in 1 jar for the mushrooms just because never tried it before. Let me see how it goes. Now you can do this bone in or bone out. And then we'll put the rest of the garlic and onion in with the legs because we like garlic and onion. Now with raw packing, don't add any water to them. So then just have your little magnet here. Go in, get your lid, in your ring. Bring that down tight. Next ring and lid. What'll happen is when these are pressure cooking, all the wonderful juices, natural juices out of the quail will come up. So now we got our quail in the canner. This little pressure canner just holds 3. It's old, I got it from a friend. So we'll get that locked up. I had already had my water in here and got that boiling, and my vinegar. So we'll bring that up to temp and we'll wait for it to steam for about a minute, and then once it's done steaming, we'll put our weighted gauge on. And as soon as the weighted gauge starts rattling, we will process the pints for 75 minutes. And if we were doing quarts, we do it for 90 minutes. And since it's with bones, we actually can drop it down to 65 minutes for pints. So go ahead and stop it. Okay, so she's been steaming for a minute. We're going to put our pressure gauge on. Now, some people have dials. This is just a weighted pressure gauge. And now we'll wait for this to start shaking and rattling, and then we'll put our timer on. Alright, so she's rocking and rolling now, so now we're just going to leave her for 65 minutes since it was going in and pints. And we'll do another video as when we're ready to start pulling it out. Okay, so our pressure canner is done. Make sure you wait until your gauge has stopped moving and the pressure has fully released before you take this off or open this, or else you're going to get a face full of steam and other bad things could happen. Morning everybody. Morning after I did the can. Here's the sound that you're looking for to make sure that the cans have sealed. You shouldn't hear any wobble. It shouldn't be able to press it down. I can't get any lift up. So they sealed good, but I have an issue. My juice line is only there. The quail did not have enough juices to cover themselves. That one has the 3 quail in it. This one only has the 2 breasts. And if you heard the pop when I was initially putting the jars in, that would be this one that had all the legs. The water must have been just too hot for me, and it popped a hole. So that was a wasted jar. But these other 2, what I'm going to do is I made up some chicken broth. So I'm going to open these up and add chicken broth to them up to the where I have leave a 1-inch headspace. And I'm going to recan. But I just wanted to be able to give you an update so you could see that quail unfortunately don't have enough create enough juices of their own to do a raw pack. Don't get me wrong, you could still do a raw pack and add like a half of it chicken broth or a vegetable broth or just straight water. I prefer to do a broth if I'm adding any liquid to it, because then I have a broth left over. So we're going to get these recanned. Valuable lesson to learn.
Careful on how hot your water is. The water in the canner was boiling pretty high, so just too far. But there's an update for you.